Greetings traders, it's Mohan here for your weekly Boomerang profit update. This week we're going to be talking about crude oil. Unbelievable week in crude oil during the whole Republican convention. While the stock market indexes were extremely choppy, whipsaw, there were some trades in there, but boy, it was a lot of heavy whipsaw and spoofing by the spoofers out there. Even though according to Rule 565 they're not supposed to be doing it anymore, they still are. I think a lot of it's the central banks rigging those stock markets for some reason. But look at crude oil. Period of 714 to 722, 30 trades, 29 winners according to the Boomerang rules, just one loss, and our target on the rules is 10 ticks gain and a 13 tick stop. Now, the amazing thing about that is that would have produced a net on the 30 trades after commission $2,640 per contract just over those 4 days. So you can imagine if you're trading 2 to 4 contracts, a very good week. Let me just show you some examples of the trades. I've got the charts nice and spread out so you can see them crystal clear. And I won't go over all 4 days, but just majority of them here, just show you some samples. The rule is real simple. You get a trade channel that opens on Boomerang. That's this arrow right here. You either have the dynamic trend bands, that's these two bands here, crossing or matching colors. So in this case, they're matching colors. Pull back the signal line is this yellow dot to go short at 46.30. We're looking for 10 ticks, so clearly there was 10 ticks there. Market gets a little bit choppy. No trades in here, no buy trades because you don't have any matching dynamic trend bands or trend bands crossing over. Here's a sell channel, matching dynamic trend bands here. Pull back the signal line and there's 10 ticks more. Now what you have is a buy channel coming in here. And right here as the dynamic trend bands are crossing over, right at the crossover, they don't have to match color as long as they're just crossing over. It permissions you to trade a pull back the signal line at 98. 98 jumps 46.09 for 11 ticks. So that's our third winning trade there. A new sell channel comes roaring in here. Markets slide lower. They pull back with everything matching to the signal line. 85 rolls back to 71. Fourth winning trade in a row, and here's a buy channel, matching dynamic trend bands, and a crossover here, a pullback signal line. Fifth winning trade in a row for 10 ticks. They continue higher. We get another buy channel way up here at the top, pull back the signal line here as they shoot higher for the sixth winning trade in a row for another 10 ticks. And the same thing happens coming in a later part of the session, another 10 ticks here. Although this one, you probably wouldn't have taken this one because they crashed so fast here. These pullbacks, even though it panned out for 10 ticks, it was a much riskier trade. So I probably would have stood aside on that one. Choppy period and crystal clear matching dynamic trend bands and a sell channel here. Let me speed up a little. Matching dynamic trend bands, 10 ticks there. This is a choppy period that comes into a topping area in the market with a fat channel as they spike higher. Either would have avoided this trade. It looks like 38 ran 46, so you'd have got the 8 ticks. We say 8 to 10 ticks on the trade because you might get a little slippage on your entry and everything. So 8 to 10 ticks still would have produced about $2,200 to $2,600 after commission for those 4 days. And again, compared to the much more choppier, higher risk NQ market, which I like to trade on Boomerang, it was quite simple, easy trades. So market opening up here. This is a West Coast chart. The crude gets going around 6 o'clock here. Pull back the signal line, 10 ticks there. You can see here the trade channel opens. We got to wait for either a crossover or matching DTBs. So this one kind of gets away from us. No trade there. That's okay. Just wait here. The matching trend band. See right there the colors. 71 short. Little pressure on the trade, but down they come to 53 for 10 ticks. No trade here. No matching dynamic trend bands, but here they are. 10 ticks coming down. Nothing happening here on the buy side until they match colors right here on this pullback. 53 jumps up to 68 for 10 ticks on that trade. Again, it's a very specific system, and we just chip away at the 8 to 10 tick moves, and bank those $80 to $100 bills on each move. Sell channel here, pull back the signal line with all the trend bands matching. 54 dives down to 42 for 10 ticks. Same thing here. Buy channel, right here they're matching colors on the trend bands. Up they go for 10 ticks. Nothing here. The session ends. Just kind of quickly rolling through this so you can see them. If you want to go through details, just join one of our bi-weekly training classes, and you can request me to go through this again a little slower. I'll be more than happy to do that, or we'll even create a special audit session. Nothing here, no trade so far. Choppy whipsaw period, which happens in crude oil, of course, too. We're on the buy side of the trend bands. We're just watching for a buy trade channel. One comes in here, but kind of takes off before we can get aboard, so we just wait. Here we got the trend bands matching right on this candle. Pullback sig line for 10 ticks. Choppy whipsaw period. Pullback sig line, a nice smooth straight up move there. Nothing here, more choppiness. And again, this is convention week with Republican conventions, so there was a lot of whipsaw on the markets. Sell channel here, matching trend bands, 10 ticks. Matching trend bands, buy channel, 10 ticks there. And again, here, sell channel, matching dynamic trend bands. Here, just barely, and here, 10 ticks. Very smooth contract to trade with Boomerang. 10 ticks here. 10 ticks here with some pressure on the, held the stop, but some pressure on the entry, but still gained 10 ticks. And, oh, I'm sorry, this was after the market close. This is pre-market. Sorry about that, my mistake. It works in pre-market too. There we go. Market opening here. Steep dynamic trend band, don't trade against that. It's one of the rules. They're not matching here. A lot of whipsaw, more whipsaw as we come into the 19th here. Matching dynamic trend bands here. 75 dives down to 64 for 10 ticks. Right here, they're crossing over at this point. We didn't get any configurations before the crossover. Here's a matching dynamic trend bands, a pullback to the sig line, 10 ticks higher. Right here on the crossover, which is again one of the rules, you can go short here at 74, which drops down to 64 for 10 ticks. And the same thing here, another big move to the downside with everything matching, and another sell channel with matching dynamic trend bands for 10 ticks here. Here's that one trade that got stopped out. Matching dynamic trend bands, pullback sig line. They went up from 57 to 60 and then dropped down. And you could have got out a little bit early in this one with the red candle changing color. 56. Yeah, you little bit. Or if you got the stop out, no big deal. But right as soon as it got stopped out, you got a new sell trade here. 44 dropping down to 37. For a choppy lower move, you could have picked up some of the points, but then they whipsawed back up again. So, and in most cases, one of our rules, if you get fast, through 2 to 3 fast spike candles that are, quite extensive, like maybe 50, like 10 tick type candles or so, you might want to stand aside in that trade. Here's a buy channel, matching dynamic trend bands, pullback sig line, 49 runs 58 for that 8 to 10, coming right into close, so you might have avoided that trade too. But I'm just trying to give you a quick synopsis, not to want to get this tape too long here. Quick synopsis of how many winning trades are constantly being produced by the Boomerang day trader on the crude oil contracts. Buy here. 72 runs up to 83, slight pullback, but it held the stop easily. It was only about a 6-point pullback against the stop, or the trade entry. Winning trade here. I'm kind of plowing through them a little faster. Sell here, 10 ticks. Buy not here at the top of the fat channel. You'd want to get them a little lower if you could, a little discount. And buy trade right here for 10 ticks. Cross over here, sell for 10 ticks. Here's no matching dynamic trend bands. Notice that, so no trade. Buy channel, matching trend bands way up here. It panned out for 10 ticks, but that's too big of a climb to take that trade way up at the top of what we call a fat channel there. Nothing here, whipsaw. Here we go, buy channel, matching dynamic trend bands, 98 shoots up to 10 for 10 ticks, and reversing into the sell side. Sell channel here, matching dynamic trend bands right away, 10 ticks. Nothing here, no matching dynamic trend bands, but they come back here. Your first matching dynamic trend band, 10 ticks into the close. And that was the 20th. There's two more sessions, but they're very similar to this. Without, I don't want the tape to get too lengthy here. But again, this is all during the Republican convention, very choppy kind of period where the market was quiet on the U.S. stock indexes, but the crude was smooth as silk. You can see the winning trades coming in here on Boomerang. You just follow them along here, and you'll see them. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me at mohan@daytradersaction. And again, I really want to thank you for joining us on this short tape on crude oil for this week's Boomerang Profit Update.